Alrighty, so I want to get a little bit farther on this JVC. It is the R-S33. I posted about a month ago or so. I'm finally back on it. Super A. And the SEA graphic equalizer, sound effect amplifier is what that actually stands for. So I think what's going on here, let me power this thing back on. Power has been applied. Speaker relay click. I get a small hum in the background. Now I do have a 1000 hertz tone going into the tape input 1. I do have tape input 1 selected on the front of the unit right now. And I get just the slightest amount of audio. I mean, as I turn the volume up all the way, I just barely get any audio. So I want to make sure, got my schematic right here. I want to make sure I got audio going in and out of the sound effect amplifier circuit. But before I do that, I want to make sure I have voltage on AA and AB. So over here on this page, let me zoom in on it just a tad. AA comes in over here, and it's wire number 835. AB is wire number 834. And so I should have negative 21 volts and positive 21 volts in respect to ground, chassis ground. So I'm going to grab a voltmeter, get her set up in here somewhere where you might be able to see what's actually going on. And then this is going to be hard to show just because of the weird angle, I believe. There you can see the meter. But that blue wire is wire 834. That red wire right there is 835. So let me find a clip lead, get it attached to chassis ground, which I'm just going to use one of the RCA connectors on the back as chassis ground. We'll connect it to the black lead over here. Make sure that we're in the volt range down here and not the amp range, just in case there is voltage, don't blow anything up. So what do I have over here? I have 0.39 volts. And I do have my positive 21 volts. I just don't have my negative 21 volts. That's probably going to be the issue. Power it back down here. Take a look at the schematic. And X802 is what I'm looking for. It should have negative 35 volts on the collector and negative 21 on the emitter right here. Hopefully you could see that. It was almost off camera. I apologize for that. So let me find X802 and see what kind of voltages we actually have. Okay, so I did find X802, which lives right here. And for a second I thought I saw a little blob of something sticking out of it, but I think that might be glue. Anyhow, let's power this thing on and check the voltage on the collector. And I do have my negative 33 volts. Did it just start working? Negative 21. And on the emitter, I have negative 21. And so I have my negative voltage. And I have my positive voltage now. All I did is I moved that transistor. It was laying down. I just stood it up. I believe it's got a bad connection. Well, let's power this down, flip the board up, and take a look at the bottom. One moment. Okay, well, these three leads, that one, and that one, I'll go to that transistor and look what I see. If I wiggle the transistor just a little bit, there's the problem right there. That is the collector lead. So let's add a little bit of solder to that. I'll look the board over, and hopefully that will be all of the troubles this unit has. Okay, board has been resoldered. All three of the large transistors, the one on the heatsink right here, and then those two have been resoldered. So let's power this thing back on. Current looks good. Volume is down. We'll measure the voltage. Again, I should have negative 21 and positive 21, and I do. Do we get sounds? Oh yeah. Equalizer does work. Okay, so do we get sound on the radio? And we do. I don't have an antenna connected right now. But the radio does indeed operate. So, it works. Does the customer want the lamps replaced or anything else done to it? Because it's got these 3 lamps that are out. I could probably replace them with some AC lamps, AC LED lamps. Might have a tiny bit of flicker. I don't think I have any incandescents that'll fit in there. You know, if these guys will come out peacefully. Oh, and they have the little blue condoms on them. How nice is that? Well, I do have some white 6-volt LED lamps, much in the same configuration. I'll have to solder the wires onto them, but they might actually work. Let me grab one and see if it'll fit. One moment. Well, I tried one of the 12-volt LED lamps that I have, and it's focused. Unfortunately, it doesn't spread out the light like an LED, so the display had a very, very bright halo in the center of it and then very dim on the sides. And so I tried a couple of these. This is a 168, same physical dimensions, but I can't solder to the leads, and I don't have any sockets for these, but they work perfectly in there. I did have a couple of GE 193s, I think, which are virtually identical. Cannot get them to take solder either. It's got to do with the kind of wire it is, but that is a GE 193 lamp. So I'm going to have to come up with some 12-volt incandescents or a suitable replacement 12-volt LED bulb that has a wide disbursement as opposed to a spot like these guys have. I'd love to relamp it. So I'm going to get a hold of the customer and see if he wants to proceed with relamping this unit or if he's perfectly happy with it just working. No, I'm not going to recap the whole unit. It seems to be fine. It does have some glue on it. Customer's not concerned about that. Hasn't corroded since 1977 or 78 or hasn't done any damage, so chances are it's not going to do any at this point. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. It is working. It does work. It does pick up stations. Let's see if I'll get something in stereo. All I'm using is my finger. I don't have an antenna actually connected to it, so let me get an actual wire, and hopefully we're on the correct one. Yes, it does pick up stations actually in stereo. So I'm going to call that a win, or at least a partial win. It does work. Just had a bad connection on that transistor right there. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X at NorCal715. You can email me, norcal715videos@gmail.com. Best way to contact me, it is still the very first part of 2026. Leave me a comment in one of the videos. Still trying to get caught up. Got so much going on here in the next couple of months, so hopefully I'll get back on track soon. I'm trying. I am trying. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thank you for making it to the end of this video. Part 2, troubleshooting the no audio problem on the JVC R-S33. Everyone, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
A prescription treatment. or visit marklovesgold.com.